Hey, yes, our cards here. So now I've got a bit of a older deck that I've sort of upgraded because of the new set 15, or new now, and it's a Shadow Paladin deck, and it is based around Raging Form. Raging Form is a top tier card in the English meta right now. Basically, its skill is Limit Break 4, retire 3 of your Avengers, and Superior Persona Bride. So basically, you would get another Raging Form and then right on top, pretty much, and it gets 10k, which is really good because you can drive check it and your opponent is pretty much screwed after that. Its secondary ability is Counterblast 1, gains 3k, and that's really good because you can hit cross rides in the face. And seeing as how cross rides and Novell and whatnot are a huge problem in English meta, that's why it's just a good skill to have. So obviously run 4 to get maximum Persona cross, break ride, whatever. No, not break ride, cross ride. Ish thing. So yeah, 4 of them because it's a silly card in a silly deck, which is why they're top tier. That's the story of all top tier decks. So next, 4 break rides. I just dropped the other one on the floor. Hang on. Oh, screw it. Alright, so basically there's a 4th one, but I dropped it on the floor. My camera's falling, and I'm too lazy to restart the video. It's basically 4 Mordreds, and Mordred's skill is Counterblast 1, Break Ride, 10k Vanguard, Superior Call Grade 2 or less Rear Guard, Grade 2 or to Rear Guard. What you want to go for is either a Tar2, a Masquerade, or a Mana, which is a new set 15 card. I don't run any Blaster Blades in this deck because, I don't know, I wanted to test it out without. I used to run Blasted Arc. Did I say Blasted Blade? I meant Blasted Arc. I used to run Blasted Arc and Dorint, but I decided to try it out without, and it works pretty good. Yes, means 4 Masquerades, 12k attackers. So, well, yeah, Mordred is when a superior called, it gains 5k. So this will attack for 17, and he gains 2k when he takes Vanguard. So these 12k attackers gain 3k when Revenge of Vanguard. Pretty much this whole deck is Revenger except for 2 cards. Overcoming Revenger Rukia, set 15 card. When a grade 1 or less rear guard is called, he gains, or she gains 3k. So you can make some pretty good numbers by itself by using its skill, and it works really well with the grade 1 version, which I'll show you later. I don't remember its name. Next are 3 Wily Revengers, Mana, not Willy Revenger, Wily. The card's really good. It may only be 8k, but it was pretty much made to die. So basically its skill is when you call it superior, call a grade 1 or less Revenger behind it, but then at the end of the turn it goes to the bottom of the deck, which is fine because you're just going to Raging Form it to death anyway, so that's why it's really good, because you get a free card and it's plus 1 on that. So yeah, 3 of them. Only 2 Tar2s because I find that it is really Counterblast heavy, and you need Counterblast in this deck pretty much for Raging Forms and whatever. You don't need to use Counterblast for Raging Forms Limit Break, but for the plus 3k you do. And this is this is sort of even in a way. Say if you need a top deck Raging Form, then this would be better because you get the card permanently, but this, seeing as how the card's made to die, it's really good. So plus 1 with Tar2, superior call it with Mordred, then use its skill to superior call another card. There you go, you field up a lane for 3 Counterblast, which is not bad at all. For Transient Revenger Masquerade, probably the ideal card to call with Tar2 because you can intercept with Tar2 and then move him up when he swings for 10. So yeah, this is 10k attacking. If you have Revenger Vanguard, blah blah blah. 3 Self-Control Revenger Rakia. So he gains 3k when a grade 0 or less Revenger is called. And seeing how it's a Shadow Paladin, and sometimes you really just need a push by game by calling some grade 0s for Raging Form. Yeah, that's what you do. And then it becomes 10k attacker, which is good because 10k finishes games. Except it really depends on how many times you're gonna call grade 0. I mean, I do run a Dark Bond, which Counterblast 1 Superior Call a grade 0 at rest. So you get like a free card to retire with that. 6k. Like, I mean, numbers don't really matter unless it's for Vanguard, because the Vanguard's the one that's going to be like finishing the game and whatnot. 2 Blackwing Swordbreaker, the 2 cards in here that aren't Revenger. Those I figured out like a really sweet combo with these cards. I'll get the starter. The starter is Judge Bow. So basically, when this boosts Mordred Phantom and hits, you can Counterblast 1 Superior Call 2 grade 2s. You Superior Call these 2 in the same column, and you can Soul Blast 2 and then draw 2. So you already get a +1 from this, then you get a +3 out of this pretty much. And then even though it's like a 12k like attacking row column that is like easily stopped by 5k, and you can't retire it because they're not Revengers, what you do is you just call either Tar 2 or mana over it. Normally you want to go for mana, so this is like next turn after you Superior Call these 2, call mana over it, and so that's like +0. So right now it's like +0, and then that gets retired as well. But then you get the free grade 1 behind it that goes to the bottom, but like I said, made to die. So it's pretty much like you turn these into cards that can be retired, as well as deck thinning, drawing 2 cards. It's just a really good combo. People ask like, oh, is there any reason why you're running that? And I have to explain it, and they're like, oh yeah, you're so smart. And I'm like, yeah. Anyway, next grade 1s. 1 Quintet, Hell Rage Revenger Quasal. This card actually makes me rage like sometimes, which is why I guess why it's called Hell Rage, because like I used it and I got a quintet of like 2 raging forms within the quintet, and I'm like, oh no. But I still won that game, but like I was pretty angry. And 3 Macros, because quintets, I don't know, quintets are kind of like essential now for most of my decks, just because it stops those fat rear guards. Triggers, 8 crit, was 4 there, and the other 4 trial deck ones, 8 crit. It's like the only way to run this pretty much. I probably would have done 6 and 6, so 6 draw, 6 crit, but like obviously I can't do that because, well, right now anyway, because there isn't another Revenger draw trigger. I mean, there's no special Counterblast in this deck, unless Tar 2 is. No, I don't think Tar 2 is. No, Tar 2's not. So, like, I mean, I guess triggers in damage zone doesn't really mean anything, but when you're retiring, it does. And seeing as how these draws are probably the most likely to get retired because they only have 5k shield, it's preferred that they're Revenger. And 4 heal triggers. Because heals are essential, but it gets really annoying when you're at 4 damage. You're about to Raging Form your opponent, but then you get the heal and you're like, oh, damn. But you see, I mean, healing is nice, so yeah. And then the starter, which I showed already, was Judge Bow Revenger. So basically when it hits, when attack hits that it boosted a Phantom, you can Counterblast 1, put it to Soul. It's really called 2 grade 1s. It doesn't have to be Revenger, and then call them to rest. It's like only good if I can ride Mordred first. If not, it just gets retired, which is like fine, because everything's gonna get retired at some point, which is like just like really good. Normally it's, you know, Drag Ruler, and then normally the starter is Claudus, but I don't use Blast the Dark at all, so I thought Claudus would have been a waste and preferred to use Judge Bow. But yeah, that's it. That's another top tier deck, but unlike Chaos Breaker, I actually like this one. So stay tuned for more. I still have to do my Narukami deck, don't I? I'll get there eventually. Alright, see you guys next time.